This is the recorded information session for Connectivity Innovation, Fiber Optic Deployment Solutions, Request for Application. My name is Colleen Biseglia, and I'm the Director of Wireless Planning and Cellular Coverage at the ConnectAll office, which is a division of Empire State Development. Welcome to the session, and thank you for spending some time. The link to this recording and associated slides will be emailed and posted on ConnectAll's website. Any other important links and announcements will also be shared via email and posted to the website. Please send your questions by email to connectivityinnovation@esd.ny.gov. Answers will be posted to the ConnectAll website at broadband.ny.gov. I'd like to give you a little overview of ConnectAll. ConnectAll is Governor Hochul's initiative to transform New York's digital infrastructure, build a robust broadband marketplace, and bring affordable, reliable, high-speed internet service to all New Yorkers. To date, $728.5 million has been awarded by the ConnectAll office. ConnectAll was announced as part of the 2022 State of the State address and further authorized by the state legislature in April of 2022 through the Wired Act. ConnectAll manages over $1 billion in federal and state funding under 6 funding programs and 2 initiatives. ConnectAll projects serve every county in New York State. One of the programs is Connectivity Innovation that we will be focusing on today. ConnectAll has New York State allocated funds to address connectivity challenges through new technologies, approaches, and business models to keep New York at the forefront of innovation. The entire Connectivity Innovation Program is funded with $25 million, and the first RFA under this program, which was titled Mobile Service Innovations, received project announcements on September 29th, 2025, with all 4 projects totaling $5.2 million. The open RFAs in the Connectivity Innovation Program include the one we'll speak about in this recorded session, the Fiber Optic Deployment Solutions, that's this one, with a deadline of November 24th, and another open RFA, which is the Business Model RFA, that has a deadline of December 15th. If you happen to be interested in the Business Model RFA, please visit broadband.ny.gov/connectivity innovation program, and a similar recorded session for the Business Model RFA will be available there. The request for applications overview for the Fiber Optic Deployment Solutions. The Connectivity Innovation Fiber Optic Deployment Solutions request for applications is now available at broadband.ny.gov. The final deadline for responses is November 24th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. This RFA understands the traditional methods of fiber installation have known obstacles that can cause delays in deployment, including the complexity of gaining safe, timely access to utility poles and costly subterranean installation, just as examples. This request for applications seeks innovative ways to expand methods of installation to deploy fiber optic solutions that will accelerate installation timelines, decrease costs, minimize disruption, and support deployment to areas with limited coverage or capacity. Some examples include, but these are not limited to introducing a new installation method, utilizing unique material, minimizing the physical disruption and/or footprint required for installation and restoration, reducing permitting and evaluation requirements and cycle time, bypassing areas with no suitable poles for attachment. The eligible applicants for the Fiber Optic Deployment Solutions request for application include municipalities, counties, regional planning boards, and/or regional economic development organizations, tribal governments, municipal utilities, internet service providers, network operators, system integrators, and/or equipment manufacturers, businesses, educational or other research institutions, and all of those applicants should have an innovative use case for connectivity. And partnerships of eligible applicants listed above with a designated lead applicant. Please see the request for applications, page 5, section 3, titled Program Assistance and Eligibility, subsection B, eligible applicants. The eligible uses of funds for the fiber optic deployment solutions request for applications include technical or engineered plans and designs and environmental studies, construction activity associated with the installation of fiber infrastructure and physical assets, site preparation activities, materials and equipment or other physical assets, securing required leases, licenses, rights of ways, easements, and/or other land rights or site access, permitting activity, including any required federal, state, or local zoning and any permits required, software licenses, financial monitoring and reporting, project integration with network testing and monitoring prior to commercial operation, project management. Non-eligible uses of funds, duplicative project costs such as expenses funded by another award, indirect or overhead costs, and any activities conducted outside of the state of New York. Please see the request for application, page 5, section 3, titled Program Assistance and Eligibility, subsection 3, eligible and ineligible uses of funds. The project requirements for the fiber optic deployment solutions request for applications include a terrestrial-based project located in the state of New York, a solution that demonstrates new and emerging technologies for the installation of fiber optic services or the use of existing technology in novel, innovative ways. A solution that is appropriately viable for implementation across New York State, a solution that has the potential to reduce fiber optic installation timelines and cost. For example, introducing a new installation method, utilizing a unique material, minimizing the physical disruption and/or footprint required for installation and restoration, reducing permitting evaluation requirements and cycle time, bypassing areas with no suitable poles for attachment. All associated infrastructure and equipment must comply with state and federal licensing, permitting, and siting requirements, including but not limited to New York State's Environmental Quality Review Act, New York State's Historic Preservation Act, and the New York State Smart Growth Public Infrastructure Policy Act. All proposed installation must be completed within 18 months of issuance of an award, which will be subject to equipment operability testing, monitoring, and reporting periods, with commercial operations ensuing within 6 to 12 months thereafter, following approval by ConnectAll. Applicants must demonstrate an ability to administer the awards, ensure the fulfillment of all obligations, and meet all ConnectAll reporting requirements. Please see the request for application, pages 5 and 6, section 4, titled Project Requirements, subsection A, Project Requirements. Project preferences for the fiber optic deployment solutions request for applications. A project or projects with letters of support, engagement, or commitment from local partners or other meaningful stakeholders. Project or projects that solve a unique challenge for installing fiber optic lines where traditional installation practices cannot be utilized, or there is an opportunity to expedite installation faster through traditional paths with specified new innovation. Project or projects that are viable across multiple topographies, climates, and can solve for installation challenges unique to New York State. Project or projects with a business plan that are intended to remain active and in place to provide a long-term solution. Please see the request for application, page 6, section 4, titled Project Requirements, subsection B, Project Preferences. There are 8 application components that I'll walk through at this point. The first application components are the attachments. The application requests an attachment to provide project team details via an org chart, key project personnel resumes, network design maps, documentation of project maturity, budget and network information templates, 3 years of audited certified financial statements, sample leases or other attachment agreements, if applicable, and letters of support. The second component is information on the applicant's profile. The application requests information on the entity name, entity type, contact information, and other identifying information, partnership details, or public-private partnership descriptions, if applicable. Application component 3, project team grant experience. The application requests information if the applicant has previous grant management, administration, and compliance experience. Application component 4, project team experience with any prior deployment. So the application requests information if the project team has experience deploying fiber or any other type of broadband equipment in New York State. Experience with emerging technologies, experience with local community engagement on prior projects, and identification of a governance structure and anticipated challenges, if applicable. Application component 5, request information on the applicant's project approach and scope. What connectivity challenge does this project address? How does the lack of connectivity create challenges? Descriptions of the technology and innovation of the technology, scalability of the project for future deployments, potential for equipment and/or technology to reduce deployment timelines, potential for supporting multiple network operators, and the current state or maturity of the project. Application component 6 requests information on the impact, evaluation, and sustainability of the project. So the impact of the project on coverage of a geographic area, a long-term operational plan with ownership structure, the plan to sustain activities, and the identification of any impact beyond the grant period. Application component 7 requests information on project costs and milestones. So the identification of funding distribution, identification of milestones and completion timelines, and identification of any matching funding source. And the final application component, component 8, will be certification of and authorized signatures required on statements. An application components checklist is available on the Connect All website that will help the applicants walk through the application components and make sure that the information required or requested is submitted. Applicants will need to download, complete, and submit documents as part of their application. These can be found on the project webpage under Eligible Applicants, Application Information. And for this RFA, there are 4 documents available: the New York State Consolidated Funding Application Portal. That's a web address for an external website, so the CFA portal. The Connectivity Innovation Program's Fiber Solutions Request for Application. This is a PDF document. The Connectivity Innovation Program Application Instructions and Checklists. That was just reviewed in the prior slide. And the Fiber Optic Deployment Services Budget and Network Information Template, which we'll review in the coming slides. The Budget and Network Information Template is an Excel workbook with 4 individual tabs. Please download that from broadband.ny.gov. fiber optic deployment services budget and network information template. The budget and network information template requests proposed project information such as budget, milestones, and network data. Please understand that considering the experimental and innovative nature of this RFA, if all of the information requested in this template is not available at the time of application, the application will still be considered. It is very clear that these are innovative and new technologies and methods, and so that it will be considered. So please complete each tab to the best of the applicant's ability. So to further dig into this template, the first tab is the project expenditures tab, which lists out all of the project expenditure milestones, completion timeline, and high-level project elements. It also identifies any other sources of funding that are applied to the total project cost. The second tab is the budget template. This further itemizes and categorizes spend for the project. It includes identification and allocation of funds from other sources, and distributes expenses during the grant over the time frame of the grant. Any information or amounts listed in the template are for example purposes only. There are sample categories available, including engineering, procurement, construction, infrastructure, project management. If there are different categories, please add those. If the existing categories are not applicable, please remove those from the template. The third tab is the milestone details tab. This will list all project expenditure milestones, completion timelines, and a detailed explanation of the elements and deliverables completed in the milestone. Any information in the template is for example purposes only. Please complete this tab of the template as is applicable to the individual project. The fourth tab is the location and network data tab. This is a section to identify the location of the project, associated equipment, and any networking or other technical details for the proposed project. The last column provides for additional technical comments. So if there's anything that's appropriate to an individual project, but was not requested that you feel is important to acknowledge in the application, please utilize, this or in the narrative of the questions in the application. The selection timeline. The requests for applications were issued September 29th, 2025, along with the consolidated funding application portal open, also on September 29th, 2025. This information session is recorded in October of 2025. The application submission deadline is November 24th, 2025. The application submission deadline is November 24th, 2025. We anticipate notice of conditional eligibility to be issued in January of 2026, with an incentive proposal following in March of 2026. All of these estimates and dates are good faith estimates. And for information purposes, an incentive proposal is an initial agreement between the parties that allows for some work to begin until a grant disbursement agreement is executed. The selection criteria. ConnectAll will score applications based on the following criteria. Potential impact on fiber optic deployment will have a scoring weight of 40. Consideration of the deployment, environmental and regulatory conditions specific to New York State will have a scoring weight of 20. The team capability, financing, project business plan, and solution readiness will have a scoring weight of 25. And any support for the project, including letters of support, will have a scoring weight of 15. A grant disbursement agreement will follow the incentive proposal. ConnectAll will execute a grant disbursement agreement with each grantee that will describe the planned use of funds, the timeline, and intended impact. The grant disbursement agreement will outline the program's stipulations for compliance with program requirements and penalties for failure to comply. The disbursement of funds detailed in the grant disbursement agreement may differ based on the agreed upon scope of work for each grantee or sub-grantee, and the grant amount and terms of each grant disbursement agreement may vary accordingly. Payments will be made as reimbursement for eligible expenses incurred in connection with the completion of the agreed upon project milestones that meet specific project requirements. So once again, payments will be made as reimbursement. All payment requests must be accompanied by invoices and proof of payment for expenses incurred. The final disbursement of grant funding will be payable upon ConnectAll's verification of completion of the project. How do I apply? Applications must be submitted through the New York State Consolidated Funding Application, or CFA. A link to the CFA is available at broadband.ny.gov, but also can be found at https://apps.cio.ny.gov/apps/CFA. After an application is submitted, applicants will receive an update of the status of their application via email. Applications may be approved, rejected, or subject to further review. An additional document or demonstrations of compliance may be required prior to grant award. The selection timeline. The RFA and Consolidated Funding Application Portal were opened on September 29th, 2025. This recorded information session is posted October 2025. The RFA submission deadline is November 24th, 2025. The ConnectAll application review will occur in December of 2025. The anticipated notice of conditional eligibility will be issued in January 2026. And it's anticipated that the execution of incentive proposals will follow in March of 2026. But references to future dates are non-binding, rather just good faith projection. Have any questions? If you have a question that you would like to submit for the next round of Q&A, email us at connectivityinnovation@esd.ny.gov. Answers to applicant questions are posted to the program website, https://broadband.ny.gov/fiber optic deployment solutions request applications. ConnectAll does not guarantee that questions submitted after October 30th will be answered by the application deadline. However, it is highly recommended that applicants submit questions as they come up in the application process. While ConnectAll does not guarantee that questions submitted after October 30th will be answered, it is highly recommended that questions are submitted. Thank you very much for your time and attention to this information session. Again, please contact the ConnectAll office at connectivityinnovation@esd.ny.gov.